Nobody likes to fail. I don't think there's a single person in the world who can say that they enjoy failure. I've been talking a lot about Haikyuu recently, as I'm sure you've noticed and seen on the channel, and with good reason. It may be about high school volleyball, but there are so many lessons that go far beyond the sport of volleyball itself. The greatest lesson that Haikyuu embodies and brilliantly demonstrates is the concept of failure and its necessity to meaningful growth. For me, one of the core appeals of Haikyuu is how the challenges, struggles, and setbacks the characters face are ones that are wholly rooted in reality. Not to say that other fictional characters don't also have goals and dreams that are rooted in the core traits of humanity, but the character goals in Haikyuu are ones that I can feasibly see my own self reaching for. Everyone has had or has a dream or goal. Some of us have the ability to reach those aspirations. Some of us were told by others that we didn't have the right physical build, ability, or the personality to thrive. Some of us told ourselves that we'd never make it. And we believed it, giving up our goals and comforting ourselves that we just didn't have the talent. And this may be true for some, but for others, they may have given up too soon. All of us have had some kind of setback in our lives, some stinging far worse than others. Represented by the two main protagonists in Hinata and Kageyama, Haikyuu's greatest lesson is clear. Failure creates the opportunity for growth. And just like real life, every character in Haikyuu finds success and failure. In the opening episode of Haikyuu, we see Hinata's visible excitement in having the chance to play in his first middle school tournament. He has every intention to win and keep winning, even when faced with insurmountable odds. They get matched up against the team favored to win the entire tournament, but Hinata doesn't lose hope. All of his optimism seems to be for naught, however, as his team is crushed by Kageyama's Kitagawa Daichi team in depressing fashion. So much so that even the scorekeepers start rooting for Hinata. While I didn't have a failure on the same magnitude as Hinata, I can remember pretty vividly the first time I put myself out there in high school, and how I ran away from it. When I was younger, I was often told I had a knack for acting. I remember there was a time in my life where I wanted to be an actor, and in my junior year of high school, I went ahead and decided to myself that I was going to audition for the fall play. I had never acted in anything public up to that point, unless one were to count my stints in elementary school. I auditioned for one of the major parts that year. Suffice it to say, I didn't get the role. I ended up getting a role that wasn't actually even in the script. It was an add-on by the theater director, and I remember feeling like I had been snubbed, like I deserved more. I was angry, but I filled my role nonetheless. I was recruited my senior year to do fall play, but I ran away instead. I made an excuse. I wonder what might have been if I had tried again. Would I have gotten a significant part? Would acting in theater still be one of my interests? I suppose I'll never know. Unlike myself, however, Hinata doesn't give up or run away. He may have failed once, yes, but he resolves to try again. And again. Unlike Hinata, I moved on from my fleeting aspirations as an actor. But it is at Karasuno that he meets his friend, partner, and rival, Kageyama. And if you've watched the anime or read the manga, then you know how far they've come from where they first started. As for Kageyama, if not for the rejection by his teammates at Kitagawa Daichi, would he see any reason to change his attitude? And if Hinata and Kageyama were not rejected by Daichi for their lack of teamwork after their arrival at Karasuno, would they have ever reached the heights that they do? I'm not so sure. I was texting my friend Connor the other day, and we were talking about recent events throughout the world. Nothing has really gone according to plan in my life for a few months, and I'd imagine it's the same for you as well. And as we were talking, he dropped this pearl of wisdom. The greatest growth comes from the most uncomfortable change. Even though there is a considerable amount of character development for the duo in the first few episodes, perhaps nothing creates more growth for the pair and the team of Karasuno as a whole than their defeat at the hands of Oikawa and Aoba Josai at the end of Season 1. With the acquisition of Hinata and Kageyama's first free quick, Karasuno plays Aoba Josai to a near standstill. But in the end, it falls just short. They walk off the court as the defeated, and the weight of their failures is agonizing. And of course, this defeat prompts in Hinata a desire to be able to battle in the air, a desire to evolve their quick beyond its first variation. Of course, the process is rough and filled with unfamiliarity. They even physically fight, not because of disdain for each other, but because they both see different paths to redeeming their failures against Aoba Josai. And the change that they desire is full of pain and failure. From Kageyama's frustration over developing his new set, to Hinata's inability to spike properly. But when they finally succeed, I don't think there's anything in life quite like the moment of success after repeated failure. And the duo utilizes their new evolved quick as Karasuno battles their way to nationals. All of that was only possible because they were given a catalyst, their failure against Aoba Josai. Throughout Karasuno, it is clear how various failures have shaped each player to grow. Sugawara has his starting setter spot taken, but he reinvents himself as Karasuno's playmaker, contributing to the team in almost every manner possible. Asahi felt responsible for their loss to Date Tech, but picks himself back up with the assistance of his teammates as he becomes the powerful ace that Karasuno needs. Tadashi falls on his face more than once in his role as a pinch server, but those failures build up the foundation of his desire for redemption and eventual success. Inoshita ran away from the team, but overcomes his insecurity and doubt during the Wakunan match to become Karasuno's next foundation. Tsukishima has one of the best character arcs in the show, transforming from an apathetic and uninterested player to becoming Karasuno's key to victory in Season 3. And collectively, their many losses and failures at the Tokyo training camp helps create the team that reaches the national stage. All of these growths are fueled by the various setbacks and failures that they each endure and overcome during the series. And combined with the support of their teammates, each player on Karasuno evolves as a result of their failures. I mentioned earlier that every character in Haikyuu embodies its greatest lesson, and this includes its minor characters and major antagonists as well. In terms of minor characters, I looked at Tawada, Ogi Minami's captain. He really only gets screen time for that one episode, but he too learns the value of failure. In the past, having been defeated by Shiratorizawa, he adopts an attitude of indifference and apathy, as everyone in the prefecture has been bested by them. Why try? You're just going to make yourself look dumb. But something changes in him mid-game, as he remembers the frustration of his former captain after their defeat, and the reminder of that failure urges him to change his mindset. Oikawa, though psychologically tortured by the prospect that he may never reach the talent of his rivals, initially cracks the barrier when told by Iwaizumi that defeating their opponents is a team effort. And Oikawa finally breaks through the barrier in their rematch with Karasuno. He's finally able to let go of his jealousy in those final moments, playing to his fullest potential with a myriad of incredibly reflective quotes that have honestly changed my own mindset for the better. And though he loses against Karasuno, his failures and triumphs teach him that while he may not match his rivals in natural talent, he can still make the most out of the talents that he has. Both of these stories, minor and major, are rooted in the driving motivation that failure brings. Haikyuu shows that failure isn't a bad thing, that perhaps it can lead to so much more. That is why I find such solace in the words of Takeda-sensei. Yes, you failed. And yes, you lost. But does that mean you are weak? Isn't losing difficult for all of you? A challenge where, ending up on your hands and knees, you must see if you can stand up again? If you stay on your hands and knees, that proves that you are weak. Failure is as much a part of life as breathing is, and there's no way around it. It is incredibly unpleasant. It might cause no end of tears. We unfortunately won't ever be able to escape that as humans. No matter how hard we try to be perfect, we will still fall short. And unfortunately, none of the characters in Haikyuu are immune from that either. But like every character in Haikyuu, we can use failure to push ourselves and others forward. We can grow. But growth is a choice. We can stay on our hands and knees, or we can try to stand up again, and give it another try. And maybe one day, we'll be able to see the view from the summit, and marvel at how far we've come. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to add it to your favorites, give it a like, and subscribe. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time.